Today on the podcast, we're going to be talking to Nigerians who are in the tech space. You work with a startup or whatever, and you're trying to sell tech solutions, and you are having difficulties in hooking up demos or hooking up meetings. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Now, if these are the sorts of things you like to listen to, then this podcast is your jam, because this is what I do, 2-3 times a week. And I've been doing this for a while, let's say about 5 years, at least as at the date of this recording. My name is Tabishima Ayede. I'm the host of the podcast. And if you'd love to connect, you can send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. So again, we are talking to people who are in the tech space. When you're trying to sell some fancy tech solutions, you're having a problem securing meetings, you're having a problem securing, getting people to come for your demo. And the demo is just that meeting where you get to show the potential customer what your solution is, how it works, how it can help them, things like that. So that has become kind of like the modern playbook for selling tech solutions, selling software, things like that. So for those of you who are not in the tech space, should you keep listening? Of course you can. Because it doesn't matter what we talk about over here, you'll always find that there are some transferable skills and there are some things that you can listen to, and you can learn some stuff that will apply, in your own business or whatever it is that you sell. So, why are we tackling this today? It's very simple. I was going through some of my old notes, some of my very old notes, and I realized that I had an interesting conversation with a podcast listener. Her name is Neka. I'm not going to use the full name, but Neka, if you're listening, yeah, it's you. I'm not going to use your surname, but to give you some privacy. So, Neka was in the tech space, and she was selling some fancy HR solutions. In fact, that was a problem solved. But anyway, let me talk about that. She was selling HR solutions, right? A software that helps to offer customer care support. And so I started talking with her now to try and figure out exactly what the tech solution could solve. And these were some of the problems that it could solve. The software supposedly could help you resolve customer disputes. It could also help you gauge customer satisfaction. It could also help you with tracking, customer follow-up procedures. Let's see, what else? Plenty things, yeah. And that was a problem. And some of you in the tech space, you don't realize that that's a problem. In the beginning, when you're brand new, it really doesn't help if your software has a laundry list of solutions and your software can do 50 things. From a sales perspective, you hire somebody to now sell on your behalf. Like, how do you want the guy to do it? It's 15 things that the person has to remember at any given point in time. Narrow it down. Like, what are the core problems that your software can fix? If a salesperson just has to manage 2 or 3 things as part of your UVP, that's your unique value proposition, then that's an easier sales conversation to have, because I'm only juggling 2 or 3 things in my head on every single call. But then, if you're selling a software, some superstar software, customer care support, it can do it. Customer disputes, it can help you. Customer satisfaction, it can help you. Customer follow-up procedures, it can help you. Introducing customers to new orders, it can help you. That's a bit much. So those of you in the startup space, Nigerian entrepreneurs, I know you're in love with your solution. I know you think your solution can solve everything under the sun, but the simpler you can make it, the better. If we can reduce it to a simple sentence, a simple statement, 1 or 2 things, max 3 things, that would be the best, at least from the point of view of your salespeople. Sometimes some of the difficulties that your salespeople are having is, it's just a bit much. Your solution does everything under the sun, and it is hard to sell, omnibus solutions when you're having a conversation with someone. So that was one problem. So my recommendation for those of you in the tech space in Nigeria, please, you guys, take note, make your job easier. So in Neka now, she's part of the sales team. She was having 30 calls per day. I like that. Impressive. And the problem was that out of 30 calls, she's only able to convince average person. So I say average person, convince one person. So on average, NECA is doing about four appointments per week. So I repeat, NECA can bang out roughly like 30 calls every day. But on average, that's just like one person. Of course, that means on some days she's hitting zero. Because when we look at the figures now, her average per week is she's booking 4 meetings. And of course, she was wondering, what am I doing wrong? How can I be more effective? Because you're making 30 calls, you book 0 meeting. Man, that's harsh. After a while, the thing now even starts to grate on your self-esteem. Like, no be me again. Am I not the daughter of my father? No be phone call. Common phone call. So, yeah, she was wondering, how can she get more effective? So, I asked her one question and I said, okay, when you're on the phone with people, what's the goal? And she said, that's simple now. The goal is to book a virtual demo. And I have to stop her there and say, NECA, hold up. Stop there. That is the first mistake you're making. She said, how? Is that not what they pay me for? To book virtual demos? Yeah, that's what your guy told you. But honestly, from a traditional sales perspective, when you hop on the phone with somebody the first time, the goal is not book them on demo or get that meeting. The goal is figure out if they are interested in the first place and then figure out the nature of the problem first. And then she understood. If you're only having a conversation with somebody who is interested and who has a serious problem, then you can have fruitful conversations when you're not trying to strong arm somebody into a meeting. There are some people that clearly you will see that the interest is not here, or there's a problem here, but honestly, their human resources problems is not that much big of a deal. That kind of person, you thank them for the time, ask for permission so that you can put them in a email list and let them be receiving emails from you once in a while. Every once in a week or every two weeks, they will receive emails from your business. Our business is doing good. We are Nigeria's premier human resources, something. If you have problems with human resources in your business, this is how our software can help. Every 2 months, every 1 month, they're receiving those kind of emails. You stay top of mind. Maybe one day they actually do have a need and they remember that, NECA called me 6 months ago. I've been receiving the emails. Let me reply to the email. Or let me check if I have NECA's phone number. Let me buzz them back. So that's what you do if somebody is not interested or the nature of the problem is little. It's not that big. So I was able to get her to change her mindset that, look, the goal is not, okay, I have somebody on the phone, or I'll go for the demo, go for the meeting. No. And that's the reason why some people will not show up. They'll say, okay, yeah, sure. They will agree. Then they will click on the meeting link. They will agree. But they're just trying to be polite. They don't, you're persistent, articulate, obviously an intelligent young lady. They don't want to shut you down. So they'll say yes. Then when the phone call is over, will they show up for the meeting? No, because they were never interested in the first place. So, those of you in tech sales, stop trying to strong arm people into a meeting. I know what your guy told you, that the goal is to book demos, but I'm telling you, save yourself some headache. The goal actually is to figure out who is interested and what's the nature of the problem. It's not everybody you must try to get to go for that meeting. There are some people that the best thing to do actually is, thank you very much for your time. I hope you don't mind if I add you to the email list. That's simple. Then the email campaign is going to be doing relationship nurturing. You put them in a relationship nurturing sequence. A sequence to stay top of mind. That's the best you can do. Then only engage with people who have a serious problem. And then she said, but if she does that, her stats will suffer. And I say, yeah, actually it will suffer. It will suffer. But the thing is, when you book a meeting, your sales people, your sales team, because the structure that they have with their company is twofold. They have, business development reps and then account managers or closers. So, people like her who are on the phone to try and set up the meeting. Then somebody else is their job to try and get the person to buy the product, to buy the software, or pay the subscription. But I told her, if you take this approach, even though your stats will suffer, you'll not be putting up impressive phone numbers. How I put it? Okay, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, it will mess with your stats, your daily records, the number of customers, the number of conversations that you record, because you'll be spending more time, per person. But the thing is, when you book a meeting now, it will be a high quality meeting, and your account officer, the person who is responsible for closing the deals, they'll be happy working with you. Because right now you're booking 4 per week. And out of that 4 per week, only 2 people, I forgot that, only 2 people are showing up. So she's calling 30 people a day, averaging booking 4 meetings per week, but then only 2 people show up. So even if now it is still 4 people that show up or 2 people that show up, it will be a good quality meeting. Because of the 2 people who show up, we didn't have the stats for how many people actually go ahead and buy the software. So remember, when you're on the call with someone for the first time, the goal is not, by force, get them for that meeting, get them for the virtual demo of your product or your service. The goal is figure out if they're interested and what is the nature of the problem. So call and introduce yourself. My name is Ineka for so solutions. The reason why I'm calling, or I got your phone number from, you have to give that background context. Maybe you talk a bit about, your solutions. In fact, for me, if you're talking about your solution at this stage, you're talking too much. For me, once you call and introduce yourself, start with the problem statement and then ask questions. So, hello, my name is Ineka, so solutions. The reason why I'm calling or how I got your contact number is, blah, 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 blah. I'm assuming that in your business, you currently have some issues with customer support that you struggle with at the moment. Yeah, is that correct? Some people say, oh no, we don't have any human resource problems. You say, oh, really? Okay, congratulations. I'm glad to hear that. That's really rare, because most people that we talk to, they usually have problems with customer disputes, or they're trying to figure out a way if their customers are happy. So are you facing those sorts of problems at all? They say, well, actually, yes, I would like to know if my customers are happy with our product or service. Once somebody says something like that, good. You keep on asking your questions. That is your in now, to now try and figure out how interested they are. That's the angle that you will now use to say, well, you know what? Our product, we've been able to use our product with, 20% of our customers or whatever. And we'll be able to help them achieve greater customer satisfaction rates. Would you like to have a meeting with one of my associates so that we can see whether our software will be able to help you in the business? So, oh yeah, I would like that. Then you book a meeting. So call. The goal is, are they interested? What's the nature of the problem? Have a problem statement. Problem statements are built around your UVP, your unique value proposition. Unique value proposition just means, what are the results that you give people, or why do people do business with you? So you can start the conversation that way. Hello, my name is Neka from so Tech Solutions PLC or Limited or whatever. The reason I got your phone number from blah blah blah. The reason why I'm calling is because we help businesses, solve their customer care or customer service problems. Do you happen to have any customer service problems that you're struggling with at the moment? Sorry, I'm just freestyling now. That's why I'm not sounding very, very articulate. But you can sit down and come up with a problem statement that you can use to start to start the conversation. Then the use cases that we came up with, remember, customer care support, the software does it. Customer dispute, the software does it. Customer satisfaction, the software does it. Customer follow-up procedures, the software does it. You see some of the difficulties now, like if you're a salesperson and you're talking to somebody, you're now trying to juggle that out of all these 5 possible solutions, which one should I be leaning in on? That's why I'm saying you will help your salespeople if you just narrow this thing down 2 or 3. It will be a lot easier to handle the conversation. So that's it. Call. Introduce yourself. briefly. Don't start giving them history. We are the greatest, we are the best, our founder, something, something, our software, this, that. Call. Introduce yourself. The next thing, problem statement. Do they have the problem? How bad is the problem? Oh, it's not that much of a big deal. You move them into relationship nurturing sequence. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you don't mind if we put you to our email list. If we do that, every week, every two weeks, every month, you'll be able to get updates about, tips and tricks about how Nigerian businesses or modern businesses are solving customer service challenges. Don't worry, we won't email you too many times, and the emails that we send will be valuable, I can assure you. They have your permission to put you on the list. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. The people that say no, no problem. Don't send them email. Because if you do, you'll be hurting your email deliverability. If you send them email and they see it, they will click spam. Once they click on spam, Google will now see that, okay, people don't like receiving this email. And then they'll start moving you to promotions folder when you get into other people's inboxes. And that is what we're trying to avoid. So if somebody says, no, don't add me to your email list, please, please, and please do not add them. When we were young back in the day, my sister used to say, there's many fish in the water. So she would say, Tabashima, don't cry. That girl broke your heart, but don't worry, there's many fish in the water. It's the same in business. There's many fish in the water. If somebody says, don't add me to your email list, there are many fish in the water. Leave them. You'll find somebody else. All right, so that's it. That's for those of you in the tech space. By the way, always nice talking to those of you who are coming up with innovative tech solutions. Real nice. I get the impression that people in the tech ecosystem in Nigeria are trying to come up with like our own Silicon Valley type thing, and that would really, really, really be good. So always like hearing from you guys. So even though most of the things that we talk about over here are so far this year has been more hardcore practical, like solar, fishery, poultry, what else? Construction, So yeah, for this year has been mostly very concrete stuff, but still, I'd also like to have conversations with you guys in the tech space as well. So that's why I leave my phone number at the beginning and at the end of every episode. So again, if you would like to connect, if you're like NECA, you're working in an interesting company, you're trying to bring innovative tech solutions to the market, and you guys have some problems, hit me up. My name is Tabashima Ayede. I'm the host of the podcast. The phone number is 080-6466-2140. So that's it, and that's all for today. Thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you some other time.